part 2 of me taking my top end apart and replacing everything that needs to be replaced. So I gotta get my screws out here, and the last person who put these in stripped the crap out of them, so this is gonna be fun. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get these out, and I don't know. That's really bad. So I'll be back. I'm probably just gonna time lapse this part because I feel like this is gonna be a while trying to get these out. So I got the screws out, and that was fun. It was so bad. The strip, we had to drill the screw out because it was so bad. So that's out. Finally, so I want to start taking apart this. So that's an Allen that I need to get. Right there, the little Allen head. Right there, that black little screw. Here we go. This one. Just taking this. Gosh, they had this everything put together super tight. There it goes. People need to not do so many push-ups or something because, bro, that's stupid. Everything about this is way too stupidly tight. That was there. Now everything should just I don't know if that's supposed to look like that or not. It's like deformed. I'm gonna set that to the side. Work on this. I can pull my shaft out now, or whatever this is. And we're good. So those can go in the bucket of parts cleaner in a second. With this, because this needs to go in there too. Well, I don't know if I want to do that if it's going to get in the coolant lines. And it's fine. Oh, is that a bearing right there or something? What is that? Alright, here we go. My SD card is full again every time. Okay. Just gotta... Already got my power bills out and everything, so now we're working on cleaning this up and then putting in the parts cleaner. I'll get to you after that. Alright, time to go in the parts cleaner. Plop these bad boys in here. Ah! Poison. And drop down. Now we'll let that sit for about 20 minutes and then pull them out, and then we'll do the same thing to the jug. Alright, now my parts are soaking. I'm going to start honing this. So you're gonna want to take a little bit of oil. I'm gonna grab a rubber glove real quick, just so I can spread the oil around. You're gonna want to spread some oil around and put a little bit of oil on the honing tool itself and in the cylinder, just to keep it lubricated so you don't wreck anything or do anything. I don't really know why it makes sense why they want you to do it. I just can't really explain why. So I'm just gonna like turn this on its side, just a little bit of. Oh, okay. I'm gonna go around with my finger and start spreading it out. Okay, well that was a bit much, but whatever. I'll use it. I'm gonna clean it out when I'm done so I don't get any debris or anything in my engine when I'm done. Get it lubricated nicely. Came on. Put a little bit of this on these. Get them pre-lubed a little bit. Just help them. And then I should have put this on my other hand, but I'm not very smart. Take my glove off now. You're gonna want to keep putting oil on it throughout the whole thing. But I got mine all lubed up as is right now. Now we're just gonna want to pull these together. Let's put these in there. Stay together. Mine is spring loaded. There we go. I don't want to do that. That's not right. Either way, I'm gonna keep doing that. You just turn it and stuff like that, and then I'll get back to you after this. I'll time lapse it for you. Welcome back, everyone. I got all my power valves taken apart and everything. You saw that in the intro here. I got them all cleaned up as much as I could. I got all the built up carbon off with a little flathead screwdriver and a pick in the spots where I can really get to, like this little crevice right here. So I'm gonna do, that's all done. I'm gonna clean my jug up, the outside, make sure all the inside's good before I put it back on. I got a whole bunch of new parts. I got my torque wrenches. One sec. I got my bucket of parts, my box of parts. I already put my rings on. I'm gonna use some engine oil to lubricate all this before I put it in. Once I do that, still in pieces here. If you hear anything loud in the background, it's the torpedo heater. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but either way, I honed my cylinder, got all that done. So I'm gonna, now that these are cleaned up, I'm gonna start putting the power valves back in, and I'll get to you after that. So I got everything cleaned up as good as I could. Everything's good to go. Got all the carbon off, the power valve stuff. Got this as clean as I could. I got the thick carbon off of all this and this, all of that. That's all good, so everything should be ready to go back together. Got the head cleaned up, the jug. I got new bolts because the other ones that I took out you saw were super stripped out. So got some new bolts in there. But either way, I'm gonna start showing you how to put the power valves back together right now. Recap on what's been going on, because I've had to order a lot of parts and stuff, so that's why this has been delayed quite a lot since the last video. So, first of all, my piston, I found out was bad. That's the new piston. That's not the old one. Where's the old one? I don't know. Oh, there it is. It's over here. So this is the old piston, right? Okay, that's a bit weird. Either way, oh my gosh. The piston was like cracked right there. Just I noticed that too. There's a lot of things wrong with this piston. It's toast. It's done. Thing that scares me now that I look at this again, the arrow right there, that goes towards the front or the handlebars of the bike. And that's all scratched up right here. But on the back side, where the valves were not attached correctly, it's still scratched up here, but it's not as bad. So I'm wondering what was going on in the front. I mean, I honed that out, so it should be fine, but either way, that was a problem. So, and my rings got melted in, so I ordered new rings and new pistons. So I started going to put my bike back together because I thought I have everything I need, right? Well, I started looking at videos of how to put my bike back together, and I found out, oh, why does my valves look like that right there? I don't think that's right. It looks like it got melted or something fell off. One second, let me set you down real quick so I can actually... There we go. So I think, oh, that's probably not good. So this is how they're supposed to sit. I don't know if you can see that. They drop on top like that. There's a little piece right here. Well, this is the piece I found. I'm trying to put it back together, and I'm like, this guy's not putting this part back on. It's like it all one. That's because it got ripped off. Someone put it back together like that. Or it happened while I was riding or something. It's supposed to be like this. These are my new power valves that I got. Well, used, but new. So that's a problem. So I got that. I ordered these. So now, if everything goes according... Oh, and I got new pins because I was missing some... I think they're called dowel pins, if I'm correct. I clicked my power button on accident. They're called dowel pins, if I believe. Let me take this cloth off real quick. They go right there. So they should be on every side of the bike, but they're only on the right side of the bike for some reason, and that one's a bit rusty. So I just ordered 4 new ones. Put that cloth back in. So now I got 4 new pins. So I'm going to start time-lapsing, putting this back together. If I come to any issues or anything that I think needs to be explained, I will stop and let you guys know. 2-stroke oil, and you're going to want to lube up all your parts with it. Just like dab around, make sure it's all lubed up real good, all these. And then just slide them all in. So these go in like so. You just push that in. This goes on top with the hole facing towards you. Then you'll slide this in through this side, and then you'll tighten up to 35 inch-pounds with this little Allen head. Part of the power valves sealing. So I believe the longer one goes on the right side because these are different size screws. So the long one should go on the right side is what I believe he said. Feels about right. I'll tighten those down. Oops, sorry, shaking the camera. Tighten those down in a second. Get this one in. These are brand new screws because the other ones are completely stripped out, so this will be easier for the next person to repair. Plus, I don't even know if I was going to be able to get the other one. Oh, back in. Yeah, don't let me do that. I don't want to make these insanely tight because the last person who put these on was killing me. Nice and good. I'm gonna go watch the video, and the video to help me out a little bit, but for all the torque specs and everything. But I'll be right back, and I'll keep continuing. I'm gonna mention real quick, you're gonna need grease or assembly lube to put the whole thing back together. I'm using grease, some Napa grease over there. So this is your seal for your power valves. I forgot to mention this. You're gonna want to grease this, and then put it back in right here in a little slot with the words facing up. Hit it in with a 10 mil, and you should be good. Just grab some grease on this, and then I'll get back to you. Time to get assembling the jug back onto the dirt bike. So I'm going to grease this bearing up, this needle pin bearing, or something like that. I think it's called. Either way, I'm going to grease this up. I'm going to want to grease up where it sits in on the crankshaft, I believe. That's what it's called. I can't think right now. Either way, you're going to want to put that in there, grease this up, and then everything else, for the most part, I'm just going to use 2-stroke oil to lube up, just to make sure everything's that good, but I'm gonna grease this bearing up real quick. What I just did that you saw on the hyperlapse is, well, I already had my rings put on. Well, they weren't put on when it came, but rings are pretty simple. Just don't scratch your piston up while you're putting them on. Either way, so I just put the dowel pin, I believe it's called, and the two little pins to hold it in, little C-clip pin type things. And I put my what's it called, needle pin bearing something into, and slid my pin through. Put that on. Make sure you have a rag or some sort of t-shirt or something down here to stop any pins from falling, because these, I had trouble with mine, but this is my first time, so they'll fly out and you don't want them going any bottom end. And also, see that little hole right there? You're gonna want to line your rings up with that. I think that's the right hole. Either way, there's tiny little pins that stop it from moving, or help stop it from moving. So when you slide your jug on, you want to push those pins in and slide it down at the same time, and make sure nothing binds up or anything. Then you're gonna want to rotate your Kickstarter a few times, just to make sure nothing feels weird or anything. It feels like it's binding up. Other than that, it's pretty simple. And these pistons are directional, but that's what that goes there for right there. So, air goes towards exhaust, or front bike. Either way, I'm gonna keep continuing with the video, and I'll get back with you. So, quick update on the bike. I've had to go through a lot of stuff with this. So, first when I took it off, I found out that we had bad power valves. So I had to fix that, bought new ones of those. Then I figured out we're missing, I think I'm saying this right, is dowel pins, right where they go over right here. They go on this side though. So I was missing those, and also find out my rings were frozen into my piston. That's why I had no compression, and because of my valves, that was a whole thing. I don't even know. And I had a bad piston, so everything's pretty much been replaced. My power valves got new, not studs, but new. Dude, what are these things? I can't think of the name again. Once again, I can't think. So that's all good. Honed out the inside of the jug. That's good. The head looked good. So now I got my gasket on. It didn't rip this time. So I should be good to put everything back together. But this is pretty much just reversing everything we did, other than just lubricate your piston and your rings with some assembly lube or some two-stroke oil or something, just to help lubricate it when you're reassembling. So your rings, your piston, everything around here and inside your jug. And then you can kind of just put everything back together. I already think I showed some of that, but I might just cut that out because I don't want to keep repeating the same thing, because all my lube dried up or went down in the bottom end. The bottom end doesn't matter, I'm draining that oil anyways before I start it up, so I'm changing that. But I'm going to get back into the video, and you'll see me in a little bit once I start putting that jug back on. boy. Yes, sir. There we go. She's back on. I just gotta get all the bolts on. I'm just gonna time lapse all that, and then we should be good to go. Put that on the cover. Oh, I need to throw this gasket in there. Hold up. Wait a minute. I'll do that in a second. Actually, what's going on right now? There we go. She's on. Alright, now I can get to doing the rest. Install our head. So pretty simple. Put your head on the way it face that little notch right there. That's how you know at the front where the mounts grab it. 18 foot-pounds on the top and 18 foot-pounds on the bottom, I believe too. Alright, I'm gonna go put the head on. I got my head on. That's so good. 18 foot-pounds on the top, 18 foot-pounds on the bottom. Jug bolts. Now I gotta put my spark plug in, my reeds, my carb, radiator, connect my other power valve side, and then seat, gas tank, and my pipe and everything else. So I'll get back with you once I get my reeds screwed up in here, and then. Alright, so just to make sure I don't got anything going on with my carb. Just to make sure I don't got anything going on with my carburetor, I'm going to go through it just real quick just to make sure everything's good in it. So it's not that complicated. I'll walk you through it real quick though. Loosen these two. My Kawasaki KX 2000, so for this year, everything looks good though. So what you want to look for is any green stuff in the bottom of the bowl. I'm going to take that bolt off and show you. Want to green anything, definitely not be green. That you want to look through your jets to see your main jet right here. Idler jet is under here. I'll show you how to get to that. Carburetors aren't that bad once you get used to them. They're not that bad. I've pulled so many apart at this point. I pulled this one apart already before because I thought it was the carburetor. The jet was clogged a little bit, but not all the way. So you're gonna want to get a wrench on that. That's probably what, 7 mil? 6 mil? Let's try 7 mil. Way too big. Okay, we'll go 6 mil then. Maybe a 6.5. Nope, 6 mil. 6 mil right there. My heater's turned on, so if you hear that, sorry. Grab yourself a wrench. Loosen that up. Just be able to take it out by hand. Just gonna want to look through it to see if there's anything in there. I'm sorry about that. I ran out of some video space, so I had to delete some stuff. But this is all cleaned up, good to go. Back onto the bike. I'm gonna put that back onto the bike, and my camera's like fogging. That is weird. Spark plug goes back in. Then I put my mounts onto 22 foot-pounds, and And then from there, you just kind of put your radiators on and start reassembling everything. And your needle. Put your needle back in your carb. Make sure that's clean too. You don't got anything on that you don't want getting in your carb, because then you'll have you'll have issues real quick. Okay, so got the carburetor back on. That was a nightmare. I had to unscrew this piece right here that goes to the actual airbox itself to get it to bend down this part, so I could actually get the carburetor in there. I put this part in first. That was a nightmare, but I got that done. That probably took like 20 minutes. It was dumb. Got my spark plug on, tightened up. Now I gotta get my mounts set in and my nuts. Those go to 22 foot-pounds. After that, I think I gotta just start putting my radiator back down and gotta finish my power belts. Alright, and I'll get back to you. Okay, so now that I got everything, all my engine components put that back together, I'm gonna install my radiator and all my radiator hoses in my seat and my tank, and then I'll show you how to bleed your coolant so you don't seize your engine when you first start it, or airlock your coolant so it can't run through and seize your engine. I'll get back to you, put it in hyperlapse, and you guys can watch me put all the hoses and everything back together.
King of the road, trailer for sailoring, man, trailer for sailoring. Ain't got no cigarettes, but trailer for sailoring. Give, man, me, don't pay no. Trailer for sailoring. Sailoring, ain't got no trailer for sailoring. Give man of me by no means. Give the road trailer for sailoring. Man trailer for sailoring. Ain't got no cigarettes, but give, man of me, don't pay on you. Trailer for sailoring, rooms to let. Trailer for sailoring, ain't got no. Trailer for.
He didn't do it when he started.
You gonna talk to the camera or what?
Yeah, I'm starting to.
Moment of truth, his first rebuild.
much wood